Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Modern Woman Profession. Today we got a nice video. So let's see what it say.
You, there. What is your profession?
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're at. We're gonna do something different today. We're gonna read a someone that need help on Reddit. The title say, "My wife left me for her pastor." That's the title is wrong. That's when a lot of people leave the church. So let's go dive into it. When me and my wife got married, her pastor advised her not to marry me. He didn't feel right about me. For that reason, I never trusted him and we stay away from him. So basically, he's right because what happened is, at the first thing, if I imagine that the pastor is her pastor and not his pastor, and most of the time, if it's beautiful woman in the church, and then she's kind of older, and the pastor is attracted to that woman, she's gonna find a way to jeopardize their relationship with that man, because women, especially when they're older, they trust the pastor more than the men they're with, which is a red flag in any way of shape or form. Because what happens is, the man's supposed to be one with you when you get married, and then you should be able to trust your man in your relationship. But again, is it a backward mentality that women use these days? They trust people outside of the relationship more. They trust the person inside the relationship. For example, they trust their girlfriend more. Nowadays they trust their pastor more, because the pastor give them the perfection of a woman. They always blame the guy, and then the woman always feel like they feel good when they go to church, because the pastor elevate them. The pastor give them like they are perfection. They have nothing to work on, and they have no flaws, and that's what they fall in love with. And then when the men get to the relationship, they have to deal with that mentality. And then if the men try to tell her what's wrong, she gonna run away because she believe the pastor, because the pastor is anointed. That's what she believe, and the pastor cannot say anything wrong about, and whatever the pastor say is right. So, and that one is a red flag. I will my first is gonna be either she change her church or I will not marry. That's a red flag, because I know down the road there's a lot of going on, and then she gonna be between me and the house. She gonna always fight with me in the house, and whatever goes on, she gonna call the pastor. And let's do the rest. When my marriage was at the as rockiest point, and me and my wife had a short separation. Now is the situation for her to sweep in. He chose to privately console my wife without me there. Exactly, that's the situation, which led to the emotional affair. He never should have been alone with my wife, but continued to console her privately to out our marriage, and led her to confide in another man, using his father's title to make it more appropriate. So again, like I said, that's a red flag when you start the relationship, because what happened is, she's not married to you, she's married to the pastor. Just she just you just give her the ring, but the title, when she says she be the pastor more, that's you for to walk away. And on top of that, even though you love her and then you do everything for her, when you go to church with her, she's focused her eyes on the pastor. And then now, whenever the pastor see her, the pastor probably use testimony to break up your marriage, and then for you to come and to her and to him with her, and that's the situation. And now you're going to counseling, and then he found a perfect opportunity for for him to use her, and then to have that relationship. And that's why you guys need to pay attention to the church goer. The church goers, they don't really go to church to seek face God, and we should go to church to look for God, glory of God. They're looking for the church of perfection, to feel good coolly, and then the which one they're gonna believe, the pastor, the preacher, or the beacon. That's the one that they're gonna believe, then go to after. That's why men leave the church, because the church is as for some church, not every church, is that a club, is like a club, and the pastor is the pimp, because the pastor always change women, that they change like they pimp do. And then in the top situation as yourself, I feel sorry for the situation, but most people on that same spot, because women in church, they don't vow their marriage, and then also they don't go to for God, they just doing for make them good for themselves, which is another way for them club, which is not outside, but they dress up to go to the club, not will to look for God, but just looking for another partner so they can have fun with, but they're trying to use the name of the Lord so to cover that. And then When I personally approached him asking for his help and prayer, I was told he did not want to talk about my marriage and that he did not trust me and he played that I find help. So basically, that's why the men always lost in the society, because with a man to man, you should be able to help the guy. If you really are the pastor, you should be 50-50, not on either side. You should be able to help both sides. And then on top of that, the pastor shouldn't be able to only one person to have her. Usually, what I always suggest, if you're a female, go to a female counselor. If you're a male, go to a male counselor. If a female go to a male counselor, it's gonna happen because something in your marriage relationship is private, and as you share the privacy, it's gonna bond different type of relationship with you. That person will share with you because that person is private. It just a matter of time before that relationship become more physical. It's gonna become not a professional. It's gonna be more romantic value. You should pay attention to that. That's why when the person in the church, they advise you to go to the main counselor. If you're female, just run, because at the end of the day, you can end up with that man just a matter of time. But when he never approached me once, not once, he didn't trust me based on what people said about me, or he's interested in my wife. He didn't want to talk about my marriage, but was quick to counsel her privately and start buying her gift and expensive shoes. So like I said from the beginning, the pastor hasn't asked for your wife, and then what happened is, he always, I can bet before your marriage, the wife already have his number, and then the wife always calling him and talk about bad about you, and then that's why he's able to feel that. And because it doesn't go straight up like that, it's built up slowly, and then after a while she become more safe with him, because the pastor gonna use the Bible that she's doing the right thing, and then on top of that, she's gonna push you away, because at the end of the day, he didn't like you at the first place, and that's why you for the bad mood to go to talk to him, because he didn't like you the first place. You should never go to, you should always leave and go somewhere else, and then leave her with the pastor, and then run. You should never had them married. Now you feel trapped because the marriage is forever and she's not really cherish the marriage. Was it good in the Bible? They say that if you catch your woman doing an affair or an sexual sin, you're entitled to get divorced. But the Bible, it's up to you to remarry it. But me, if you cut it and then you feel like you don't want to be alone, you can get married. And that situation, that depend who you seen. And he has gone through 2 marriages and 2 divorces himself, and he's 35 years old. And I hope he gets exposed for messing for other people, family and wife in that way. So basically, the pastor is not really a spiritual, guys. Like I said, he's a pimp. He just being pimp. Is just, I can tell that he has more than one man in the church. Not only your wife, probably messing with other people's wife as well. So you should pay attention to that, because those women out there, they're willing to live for another man that has status, even if he's married or not, and in order for her to feel good, she can to do that. And finally, my ex-wife has the audacity to tell me that it's my fault they end up together, because I spoke it into existence by being concerned about him in the past. So anyway, everything that women do is when they're gonna blame the men. That's reverse psychology, because they don't want to hold accountable for anything, because they feel like accountable, they're gonna leave the society, because they feel like once they're young, they told them they are queen, they tell them that they are no flaw, they are beautiful, they're 10 out of 10. So everything they're gonna blame the men. And if I were you, I would tell you, first of all, leave the church, leave the environment, go somewhere else. Second, before you leave, make sure you file for divorce. And if you don't have any kids, that's a plus, because now you can rebuild a life with a new family, with a new kid. And then third of all, cut off of the people in church. If you go to church, don't seek for a woman, go seek for God presence, seek God first face. And then if she trying to go back to you, don't even pay attention to that, because what happens is at the end of the day, she can get dumped when she feel like there's nothing there going on. It was just a physical relationship, and then you truly love her for who she is. And then if you need help, go to counselor, to a main counselor. That's not really gonna be that's not gonna be picking any side, but to a man to man. And on top of that, you have to have a male friend, and it's a big thing to have a male friend to talk to. So the male friend that's on your side will be able to guide you properly, and to make you see the reality. And guys, that's my video for today. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe.
What is your profession?